about it.
What's up, people? I'm so glad that you all have decided to join us and watch this video right here. So welcome to the 2-6. And if you've been with us for any amount of time, you know that this is 26 minutes uninterrupted. No edits, no fixes. It's all the ums, the ahs, the I don't knows, all the crazy looks. And we have a very special guest here with us today, my friend, my preferred affiliate, Brad Fifer. Brad, go ahead and introduce yourself to the people, please.
All right. Well, thank you again for having me, Neil. Good morning. My name is Brad Fifer from the owner of Florida Inside and Out Inspections. We do residential home inspections for any type of real estate transactions, whether you're buying a home or selling a home. We can come out and inspect their property for you. We also specialize in inspections for homeowners. You don't have to be buying a home. You could possibly already own your home. So like your insurance specific inspections, your wind mitigations and 4 points, or if you're having some issues in the home, you can always come out. We can always come out and just do like a wellness check for your house, just an inspection at any given time. So it's always a good idea to have your home inspected at any point.
Okay, so we're just going to dive right in. And I was talking to you before we started recording, and I was saying how I think one of your greatest assets is not only your knowledge, but your ability to communicate that knowledge to those that you're speaking with, especially when it comes to the reports themselves. So let me ask you, I know you touched on it just a moment, but in general, what's the purpose of a home inspection? Why do we need Brad or a Brad? What's the purpose?
All right. Well, the purpose of a home inspection is really to just give you a snapshot of your property at that time. So, meaning the condition of certain components in the house, or basically all the components that you can find in the house, the aging of them, and a life expectancy of how long are these things generally going to last, and where am I at in that point with this particular component or system in my house. So it's really to give you a general overview of a property. If you're buying the home, it's going to help you make the best decision. Um, if this is going to be the best house for you. If you're selling that home, it's going to be a guideline to say, hey, this is what I want to go ahead and get fixed, or this is what I'm prepared to negotiate on when others come in. So you're not hit with a surprise when at the after a brag comes in for the sellers. So it's just a general snapshot of the property. This way you can know what you're getting into or know what you have.
Okay, so there are a couple of people, well, there are a few different types of people who are going to be watching this, and we've already touched on all of them pretty much. So one is probably going to be a home buyer who's looking to purchase a home and need a home inspection. Then we're going to have that
Mhm,
home seller who is
mhm,
saying, well, what do I need to know about the home inspection? We might
mhm,
have the agent for either the buyer or the seller, but I
mhm,
want to start with a group that you alluded to at the very beginning. These are just the home owners already, not interested in selling, not trying to get a feel for what they need to repair before a buyer comes in with their inspector. But this is someone who just owns a home, and you mentioned some insurance specific inspections, and they might just want to do a wellness check of their home, because we know for many homeowners this is going to be the biggest asset they ever purchase in their life. So for a home owner already, them coming in and getting you, what type of inspection? I know you mentioned wind mit, and this is something important for everyone. So what is a wind mitigation? What are the other types of insurance specific inspection?
Okay, great. Well, for the insurance specific or for the homeowners group, there those three inspections are wind mitigation, 4 points, or like a wellness check inspection. So let's start with your wind mitigation. So because this basically benefits the homeowner. The insurance companies, they are requesting it, but it benefits the homeowner. So the purpose of a wind mitigation is to provide the homeowner discounts on their insurance premiums. So the state of Florida says, hey, if you're going to charge these individuals this amount, if they in turn harden or prepare their homes for a hurricane, since we're in Florida, can you provide them some type of breaks? And the insurance companies have agreed to that. So us as homeowners, if we harden our homes to have them hurricane ready with things like shutters, whether they be metal shutters, impact shutters, they just have to be Miami-Dade County rated, approved for hurricane winds or large missile impact. This is how they grade the toughness or the hardness of the home. Or you can actually upgrade them to your actual impact windows or doors, or so you can actually have an additional apparatus of such, or just a permanent solution of hurricane windows and doors. It also goes to, so that's your openings, your hardenings of your openings, your surroundings of your home. But it also goes to it talks to the roof cover, the style of covering that you have, or the age of covering. So if your roof covering is after 2002, you will qualify for these particular discounts for the roof covering. And then it goes to within the attic, within the home, the truss tie downs, where you have to have particular method and nailing patterns for your nails to go through your truss and your metal strappings, or if there's no strapping. So there's a couple of different categories that you could qualify for credits for. So that's what a home inspector would do. It's a particular state form that we have to fill out, and we have to document it and provide pictures to the insurance companies.
So let me jump in right here. So anytime a homeowner has renovations, let's say we've had our insurance carrier for 5 years and we bought the property in a certain condition, but in that 5 years we've gone through and we've been keeping our home insurance, we've been paying the premiums, but we get new windows installed or we get new shutters. Let's say we've had to have the roof repaired in the past 2 years. You're telling me now might be a great time for us to come in and have an inspector do a wind mitigation inspection to get that report. So now we'll provide that report to our insurance carrier.
Correct. And in turn, usually with those upgrades, you'll be rewarded with some type of discount on the insurance premium due to those particular upgrades. So the windows and doors, from front door, back door, all windows and garage, and a newer roof, particular tie downs. And if there's any other features, we'll document those as well. But usually these can be substantial discounts for the homeowner. So it's always good to remember, if you do those updates or do those repairs, don't forget to get your wind mitigation and provide it to your insurance company so you can get that benefit.
Okay, now there is a report. I know. So can you just touch briefly on the wellness check of a home? Because then we want to go to this big report that buyers, sellers, agents, we hear about it. We don't know what it is. So just touch on this wellness real quick for the homeowner.
So your wellness check is pretty much similar to what the insurance companies will ask for in a 4-point inspection. It's what I refer to as the big 4. So it's going to be your roof, your HVAC, your electrical, and your plumbing. So when it comes to your plumbing, you want to check all of your supply lines underneath your sinks, your toilets, even at your washer, just to make sure there's no leaks or corrosion. If those things are needing to have some attention to, go ahead and these are quick fixes. They could be less than $20, but they could cost you, 20,000 if you do not pay attention to them or have them, updated. And your water heater, take a look at your water heater, make sure that it's maintenance. If you could have it flushed out. I recommend at least once a year to flush out your.
Wait, stop. You're telling me that water heater?
Yeah.
My water heater.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to do what once a year?
You can flush it out. You can call your local plumber, or you can do it yourself.
Now,
You
now,
can.
now, 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 this is where I'm asking because what I don't want to do is I know, man, I don't want to be
Right.
telling people to put that, tie the hose on or
Right.
whatever.
It's it's an easy thing you do. It really is. You connect your hose, or and you drain it, or you turn your water off. You got to turn your water off
Right.
because if you drain it, and then you drain it, and you just fill it back up. It's just going to flush any settlements that have any corrosion or anything. Is going to flush all that out. You don't want that coming back into your house anyways. And it's just going to help maintain the lifespan of that actual unit. If you don't feel comfortable doing it, they have plumbers for
So
that.
here's the issue. It's not that I know many homeowners don't feel comfortable doing it. It's that handle on that faucet probably has not been turned in
Right,
quite a while. And
right.
you start turning it, and then that thing start leaking. And
And
now,
that's and that's exactly, and that's a good thing, especially some of the older ones with the full turn.
mhm.
The newer one are a quarter turn lever, which are a lot more reliable. But if you do have those older rotating handles, please be careful because they are easy to strip. And once they turn, you may not be able to turn it back on or off, and it could actually leak. So it is, and this is what an inspector will let you know. Say, hey, let a professional deal with that before you attack it.
Okay, so Brad, now what I want to do in real estate, we know that the majority of the time we call you or our clients or as an agent, the majority of the time my client calls you or transaction coordinator calls you is to schedule a home inspection for purpose of to decide on paper and from your expertise, is this a safe or good or reasonable buy? Right? Or are we getting something in the hole? So can we just talk about that home inspection? So in this general pre-purchase home inspection, what are you looking for? What is a home inspector going in and looking for?
Okay, so what we're going to be doing, we're going to look for, again, age, condition, life expectancy, and functionality. That those are basically to wrap it up, of the home. So we're going to go room by room and check everything in each room, from the light switches to the plugs to the windows to the doors. So that's just in a common area. And when we go into like your bathrooms or your kitchen, we're checking the plumbing underneath the sinks. We're checking for moisture. We use technology like thermal imaging to see if there's to try to find unseen leaks if possible. We use moisture meters to detect levels of moisture, just to give a comprehensive a report back to the buyers, because again, like you stated, this could be the biggest investment they make, and you want to make sure that you're not getting into the money pit, so to say.
Now,
And
Brad, right there. Hold on one moment. I just want to make
yeah,
sure you said you're coming with a comprehensive report. Your position or your job is not to just kill the deal. So you're not going in trying to find everything wrong so that the buyer is afraid to buy. You're just coming in and giving an
correct,
accurate depiction of what the home says, right?
correct. And what and that phrase "kill the deal" it's the fine line that inspectors walk,
Mhm.
because with home buyers, as well as with agents, we're the conduit or the experts, to bring it all together. So we attempt to, we want to provide, photographs, an actual written report, and
Mhm.
I will take it a step forward and do an actual consultation with the buyers over the phone. This way, if they have any questions or if they are feeling anxious, I could possibly explain it in a better way or in the best way possible that they can make their best decision versus making that decision on emotion. So you want to be able to help them make their decision on facts, and not, the emotion of, oh, this is what I see, what's going on, I don't know how to get this done, when it could very well be something that they could do themselves, or a person, a handy person could do, or it's something that you can easily negotiate
Mhm.
with the sellers. So it's those type of things. So that's what our fine line, when we're not attempting to kill the
Correct.
deal. We're attempting to seal the deal. That's what I like to say. I want to seal the deal. And even with our slogan is, we're going to help you close with confidence. So if you pick a home, if you pick us and you pick a home and you decide to close on that home, we want you to be the most confident at the closing table, to know that this is the best decision for you.
Okay, so now we talked about that part, and you mentioned in your previous answer, you want to help the potential home buyer see, because, well, first of all, a big mistake I know that happens is many inspectors, they give a report, the report gets sent to the buyer or to the agent, and that's as far as it goes. So when we see on the report an issue, I don't know if this is a huge issue or not, or an expensive issue, because there are things, for instance, in the bathrooms or the wet areas. It might be a high or a big issue with the GFCI outlets, right? Or the GFI outlets. That's a
Okay. Yeah.
big issue,
Yeah.
but it might not be an expensive issue, right? So that's
Exactly.
one where I'll look and I'll see it on your report in red. And if you don't have that conversation, or if me as an agent doesn't know, then I'm sitting here and I'm like, oh, that's in red, that's bad. But then you can come in and, so something like that, that's where the value of having that consultation is so important, correct?
Yes, yes. And even with, I'm glad you mentioned, like, the red system. Most inspectors will attempt to provide some type of coding or some type of system to better or help understand the reporting. So mine is I have a color system. I use a program called Spectora. It's really interactive, so it gives you pictures and colors and different things like that. But I'm also able to provide you with a range of pricing. So even though this may not be my field, I can still give you a range of pricing. This way, you and the client, as well as the agent, they can discuss it, or you both can give me a call, or I'm always going to say, hey, you can also just contact a professional to get a better pricing, if you like. So with my system, it's blue, orange, and red. So the blue ones are like your maintenance issues that say, hey, um, there's a the light bulbs in the bathrooms. If you got three working, one's not working, a vulnerability. It's just maintenance. Just put a light bulb in. Nothing, Um, or you may have like that orange one where the GFCIs aren't in there, or a red one, but the pricing may only be 50 to $100 just to get it done. There are important to have, but they're easy fix. So this way I try to give two different visuals of what's going on the report. So it's yes, it's of high maintenance, but of high priority, but it's of low cost. So you can make a great decision.
Good stuff there. Now, also in the general home inspection, I know you mentioned the 4-point inspection. Is a 4-point required on all properties, or are there age limits, types of properties, and who really wants the 4-point inspection? I know what you're covering, but what's the value in it? Is this to go to the lender, to the insurance companies, and is it required on every home or property?
Okay. It's not required on every home. However, I do recommend it on every home, and I provide one with every report that's purchased, no matter what. With every comprehensive inspection, I give that. The purpose, or who asks for it, is the insurance companies, and it's utilized to help them determine the same thing, a snapshot of the property, to see age, condition, functionality of those the big four, and they want to see if those things meet their guidelines.
Mhm.
That's for the insurance company. But as far as the homeowner, it's good for the homeowner to know as well, to keep track of these things, to know the life expectancy of these things, and to know when they could change them out on their own. You don't have to be told when you already know.
Understood. And there's also one inspection that we have not talked about, and that is the WDO, the wood destroying organism, or the termite report. As
Mhm.
hey, I need to have a termite report, right?
Yeah.
So could you just talk about what that is, and if you guys do that?
Yeah, sure thing. Um, I do not perform them personally. I do work with a company that will come out with us to provide it if requested. But what a WDO is like you said, a wood destroying organism. So it includes termites, beetles, ants, just anything that will destroy the wood of your home. So they are important. Some lenders will require them, but it's always good to have with the comprehensive home inspection. When I come in, I do provide you with a report on anything that we find visually for like evidence for termite wings or even rodent droppings or anything like that. So all of that is still included, even if you do not purchase that additional WDO, which is again provided by a third party. But you can order it through us, and we all meet at there. This way, it's one comprehensive report once you receive it.
And this isn't just to plug Florida inside and outside, or Brad Fifer, right? The really good people, the really good companies is really let me make one contact. And for instance, I know that when my agents or my transaction coordinator calls you, you handle everything. We know how we're going to get the reports. We know that we're going to get the wind mitigation. We're going to get the 4 point. We're going to get the comprehensive inspection. You're going to schedule for us, but we'll also make sure that we get that WDO inspection, and it's just
Yeah.
one point of contact.
Yes. So
Okay.
we want to make sure that you have everything that you need, even if there's any concerns of mold or anything like that, because that's big here in Florida.
Don't say that word. That's a bad word. You know that.
Well,
No, go
microbial
ahead.
growth or discoloration, however you want to put it.
Hey,
You
so
know,
hold on right there. How many times have people said that's not mold, that's discoloration, and you're sitting here, you're like,
okay.
okay, okay.
We can test it and whatever you want to do. We can send it off to the lab. We can do a swab for it and send it off. So that's what we do. If we do see something, we will go ahead and say, hey, we have I suspect something that there's some more. I'll test it for moisture. I got some levels of moisture. I got some discoloration or microbial growth here. I would like to go ahead and test it either with a surface swab, or we can do an air quality test. And we can provide those. I usually would have all that equipment with us on site. If they want to add it on, we can do it right there, or we can always come back and reschedule it to do it. And we send everything off to the lab, get it back to you with another report. It's also a separate report that would also help, you know, owners, buyers, sellers, know what they have or know what they're getting into.
Okay, so I want to pivot a little bit because we've been speaking about the different types of consumers, whether it's the home owner, seller, or the home buyer. But now I want to talk to my colleagues, the realtors, the real estate professionals.
Mhm.
So I want to ask you, are there things that we can do as agents? Are there things that we can look for, whether it is on the pre-listing side when we're walking through the home before we list it, or if we're out showing a property? Are there things that we might be able to look for with our buyers and say, all right, we need to pay a special attention to this? Is there something that you could think of that on either side, an agent, instead of just looking at how nice the counters are and the floors, that we might
Yeah.
should have our eyes open for?
Yes, good question. I would always say with an empty house or an unoccupied property, it's a lot easier. But the biggest thing is looking for older electrical panels, things of that nature. There, you don't have to use a screwdriver or anything. You just open up and just
Now,
look at.
hold on. When you're talking about the electrical panel, explain to us what you mean by you're not talking about the light switch. You mean
No.
the actual electrical? So treat us just like we don't know nothing. So tell us what electrical panel you're talking about, please.
Okay, so the electrical panel is your main electric source of a home. So there's usually an actual cabinet or a box or of sorts that has a door that you could just open that door and view the name brand of that panel. You can also view just by looking at it, if it's older or newer, you can look at and gauge it if it have any updates and things of that nature. Because there's a few name brands that
Uh-oh.
insurance companies
Uh-oh, hold on. Are you about to hurt
write
our
this
feelings?
down, write this down.
Write this down. And so the electrical panel, some of us might just know it as the breaker box, right?
Correct.
So electrical panel. So since you're the ultimate professional, it's the electric panel. For us, for some of us agents
The
out here,
breaker box.
the breaker box. Like find the breaker box in these houses. Okay.
Not the
Now,
breaker box.
and so you're about to tell us some that if we see them, it might not be an issue with the house, but the insurance companies. You were about to say something about the insurance companies. Would you go ahead and finish that statement?
Yes. So certain electrical boxes or breaker boxes, the insurance companies have put on like a list that they do not want to accept. And one that the most that I find here is called the Federal Pacific Electric Panel, FPE. So if you see a breaker box with the initials FPE, if you see, you can just let the client know, like, hey, this is a great house, but we're going to have to do something with this breaker box here.
And so this is important for us before we list or market a home. We can go ahead and let the sellers know. So now we're adding value to our seller client, right? We're saying, hey, Mr. Seller, we want to get top dollar. We can anticipate the buyer needing insurance, especially if we're going to get financing on the home, right?
Correct.
They're going to need insurance. Now, this could be an issue with the insurance care, any insurance carrier because of FPE. And then explain to now, is that something where we could then have our sellers? This is when a pre-listing inspection for sellers would be great, and us give Brad a call, come out, take a look, and then you can have that discussion with them because they might say Neil doesn't know what he's talking about. Charles, they don't know what they're talking about.
Correct.
But when Brad comes in and Brad says, "Hey, here's why and here's what the issue is," that's where you come in.
Correct. So that's one thing, just the breaker boxes. Another thing is you can
Hold on,
do.
is FPE the biggest one that we see with the issues?
Yes, that's one of the biggest ones that we see.
Okay.
There are two others, Sylvania and Challenger. So if you see those, you can put them down.
FPE, Sylvania, and Challenger.
Yes, those
Okay.
are the three that you can always keep in mind. If you see those, we're gonna have to get them updated. Or even just fuses, from breaker boxes to fuses. Most people know the difference? If you don't, the breaker box are kind of like a light switch. You lift up or down or left to right, and the fusers are the circular ones, or they could have a handle that you could pull out. Those are all older and would more than likely need to be updated as well.
So if we're walking through this beautiful house, Brad, my clients are in love with it, and I go to the breaker box or the fuse box. If I open it up and I see these little glass things that have to screw in, I need to go ahead and tell them
and say, hey, this is what we got. Just bring them down a little bit.
Okay.
That's it. You don't have to pop the bubble. Just pull the string. Just bring it out the atmosphere a little bit.
Okay, gotcha. All right, what else are we looking for when we're either with the sellers before we market a home or when we're with the buyers? We're walking through the house. What else can we look for?
These are some when you're walking through the home. Turn the water on. Just turn the hot water, if nothing else. Make sure that the water heater is working. That it does operate. That these just simple things. A lot of people just go through a home when they're shopping with their agents, and they don't touch anything, which is fine. it's great, but if the home is empty, turn the water on, turn the lights on, turn the AC up or down, whatever you need to do. Listen for the compressor to come on and come off. Those are simple things that anyone could do. And if the home is occupied, ask for permission. Say, hey, do you mind if I turn the water, if I turn this hot water on or anything like that? And if they're have their home up for sale, they're going, yes, please, whatever you like, make a sandwich if you want. They're going to usually allow you to help you say, hey, yeah, we want to go ahead and put an offer in on this, because they want that property sold. That's what they're here for, and you want to buy it, and that's what you're there for. So just ask for permission, be respectful if the home is occupied. But when the home is vacant, it's a little bit more free. So yes, turn the water on, check the breaker box or fuse box, whatever you know it by. If they have washer and dryer units, turn them on. If you're in the home, if why not? You're there, you're checking it out. You can do all of that now, before you even call me, because these are the things I'm going to do as well. But at least that, hey, the power does work, the microwave does work. Most microwaves have add 30 seconds, just quick 30 seconds just to hear it go off. But when I come in, I'll check the temperature of it just to make sure that it is. But at least a baseline of some of these, there's household things in the property without any type of disturbance. You're not putting holes in the wall or anything like that. Another trick, you can bring in your cell phone charger and plug it in and just use and check out some of the plugs, different things. It's just how far you want to go. And if you are scheduling with clients, another agent for agents, if they're scheduling to go out to see a couple different properties, this one is a little smaller investment, but I use a tool called BillFax, and it helps. It's kind of like Carfax. It pulls building permits for a property. So the cost is between $5 and $7, I think, but it's really comprehensive. So if you can possibly pass that cost on to the client, if you like, say, hey, we're going to see these are the ones we see before we put in this offer. Let's pull the BillFax to see where we are, to see how serious are we on this. If they're not willing to spend $5 or $7 to really see the give me a call. Maybe we can work something out.
So Brad, right there, build facts.
Yes, BUILDFAX.
And this is something that is available to consumers, just the general public. We can get this information.
I think you have to be in the real estate industry, so it would have to be the real estate agent, but it does have to be their commitment, their investment to say, okay, this is what this is a service that I provide to my clients to make sure that we're getting the best. But if not, hire a inspector who uses this tool, because it's really good. I provide it, free of charge to anyone who purchases a comprehensive home inspection, pre-listing or pre-purchase. And I usually throw it in for the homeowners as well, because this way I can give the best information on the roof age. The homeowners may not always know the age of the roof. Like I bought it 2 years ago, the roof, what they said was 10 years. This way we can just, verify, all that information and give everybody from the homeowners, the buyers, sellers, even the insurance company, accurate information.
All right, good stuff. Now, the last question I have for you, sir, is what is the most common thing that you see that it causes a big problem or just causes a problem that might be avoided, right? Either from the buyer, from the seller, from the agents. So you do a lot of inspections. I know you're doing, because I'm always seeing you on IG. I'm always seeing you just posting, and you're always on the roof somewhere. And for first of all, for a guy who loves your job and who does it very well, I like how you get the photos at the most opportune and inopportune times. You're catching these photos when you're down in Miami, in the heat, sweating, right? You got the what I call my fishing cap on, trying to protect yourself from the sun. But what is one of the things that you see most frequently that might be an issue or can be easily avoided?
Okay. For buyers and sellers, one thing that I always see, um, and for us to be in South Florida is strange to me, are dirty or unmaintenance AC units. It's
Talk
one of the
about
most,
that.
so the AC units are usually twofold, dear. Air handler within the house and your compressor or condenser outside.
Mhm.
The air handler in the house, it pulls all of your interior air, circulates it, and it comes back out. But you have what's called, when you change your filter, you have dirty filters, which will cause your system to run sluggish or
Now,
harder to
how
control.
big a deal? Because we hear about the air filters there, and here's what gets us right. How important can an air filter be? We can go to the store and get it for $5. So how big a
Exactly.
deal is this?
It's truly a big deal because that air filter is your first barrier, your first defense from clean air that you're breathing. So it's not just it's an air condition, it's conditioning the air. It's making sure that it's the humidity is down, and it's also taking out some of those impurities that we're breathing. But what it's also protecting is your air, the coils of your AC unit. Now, the unit it's basically a vacuum. That coil system is a vacuum, so it's sucking in any dust, pet hair, human hair, whatever it may be within that system. So that filter is blocking that.
Mhm.
So it blocks it and blocks it for so much. But if you're not changing that, now that you're allowing that dust, dirt, and everything to go through it because it's no longer effective. So, and some people just don't have any filters at all. I just leave that they took it
So
out.
so 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 some of the hey, I'm gonna take the air filter out because it's dirty, and I'm gonna get one
Right,
tomorrow. And tomorrow just never seems to come.
right. And now this thing is so thick, and it's like, how can in the air you can see it under your vents, it's blowing out on the vents. That's another thing you can look for, the dirty vents in the home. You're gonna see, but we're in South Florida. We run our ACs almost 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Um, and they have a life expectancy nationally between 15 and 18 years.
Mhm.
And that's with winters. So here in South Florida, that's a little bit, it's a little bit less, but people don't want to admit to that. Like, oh, it's 18 years. Like, yeah, that's in Memphis, it's in Tennessee, what? But that's not truly accurate here because we're running that, all the time, 24 hours a day. So it's simple $5 fixes. Change your filter, make sure that you have a maintenance plan with the AC company. Um, and they're fairly, expensive to do once a year. It's not a set it and forget it type of thing. This is a house, it's a huge investment. So you have to not just cut your grass every other week, you have to make sure your components are working well as well.
So that is, and so let me tell you, we see it all the time, and we go in and we see the dust coming around. People, oh well, no, the dust must have settled there from the fan or something blowing
No,
in. No,
no,
that's coming from.
strictly from the AC unit attaching itself to the popcorn or even to a finished ceiling. And
Mhm.
you'll see it just stuck there. And before long, it's going to start blocking that system. It's going to start condensating. It's going to create moisture. And now we're going to have microbial growth that we'll be swabbing and testing for, in the air because we'll be breathing those things because it's going to overwork that system. So that's a common thing that I see that could be avoided with a $5 fix, like you stated, just change your air filters. I'm not gonna say a $5 hit, a $5 start
Right.
and a continuation of servicing on a yearly basis.
Good
You
stuff.
just can't forget about it.
Okay.
And the most expensive would be the roof,
Mm.
the roof issues. Whether they be, we have a lot of concrete tile roofs and they're sold under, oh, they are last 50 years. And people don't go up there for 50 years. But even though we don't have all the seasons, we still get um, change in temperature. So concrete will shrink and expand and crack, over time. Just normal, just like we do, just break down over time. So having those concrete tile roofs or even just a shingle roof, any type of roof, you have to maintain it. They will say, oh, this roof is 50 years or 40, whatever it may be, but it's only 20 years old, but it's terrible. It's leaking. It hasn't been maintained. It
Now,
hasn't been
hold on.
cleaned.
So I know I said that was my last question, but you're talking about maintaining a roof. As a
Yeah.
owner, so I know air filter, all right, I come in, or HVAC, I come in, make sure I have the coils clean, have it serviced once a year, make sure I'm putting my filters in according to the specifications. How do I maintain a roof, Brad?
Um, you as a homeowner, you have to have a team.
Mhm.
We as homeowners, we have to have a team. It's not just you have to have a home inspector on your team, a roofer, a plumber, electrician. If you're not all those things, and all those things exist because there are there's a need for those type of people. So you maintain your roof by contacting your local roofer and saying, hey, and this roof is 10 years old. Can we do a walkthrough? And they will walk that roof. They will go through the attic. They will go through your eaves. They will go through your soffits, making sure that everything is well connected and still sealed. And if there are any type of breaks or issues, you can handle that from there. Therefore, expanding that life to that 50 years. This is how you get to that point. So these particular tradesmen, again, they exist because problems or issues exist, and we have to continue attack them or just make sure just to stay on top of them. We've seen it where properties have just fallen apart. They're falling apart because there was no maintenance, there was no roofer, no electrician, no plumber, or no homeowner. So if just like when a home is empty, eventually it will crumble.
It starts to eat itself from
Exactly.
deterioration. So
But even if
absolutely.
you're living in it, it accelerates. You know what I'm saying? If you're not doing anything.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about the home inspection. So first of all, thank you for your time. But there's one thing that we have not touched on. I know that you talked about the service you provide and the inspections that you do, but something that I absolutely love is a service that you and your company provide that many other home inspectors don't. And it's something that we as home owners don't even know about. And that is that recall notification deal, right? Where if let's say I have a microwave, so when they get the inspection, they don't only get the inspection report from you. We get a lot of added bonuses, right? We get a lot of pluses with your guarantees. And
Hmm.
then the fun one that I like is that recall notification, where when I have appliances in my home, I can put them into a system, and if something happens, if GE recalls such and such, then we get notified. So can you just talk about some of the added benefits that your company provides to those who are going to employ you for service?
Sure thing. So what makes me a little bit different, like you said, we offer the a package for the home buyers or even the home sellers for and one of the I guess benefits of this package is the recall check. So the recall check is for your home appliances, your stove, your washer, dryer, dishwasher, any appliance in your microwave in the property. So we're able to list out those appliances with the serial numbers and make and model. And recall check, you're now into their system. They run those models every month. And if there's ever a recall on any of these models, you'll receive a notification. This is for a lifetime. you'll receive the notification saying, hey, Neil, we noticed that you have this Samsung microwave. Samsung has now issued a recall on this particular microwave. Call this number and they'll ship you the new microwave, or whatever process of the recall may be. It could be a part, it could be a service, it could be a new unit. It just depends, whatever the recall calls for. We also do the big one is a 5-year roof leak protection plan, where if there's any type of roof leaks in the home after we've deemed it leak free for the next 5 years, you'll get a benefit of up to $2,000 if there is a roof leak that occurs for wear and tear. And the good thing about it is most insurance companies, they will not cover a loss under wear and tear. They like the losses to be like a natural loss, whether it's an act of God or something of that nature, or something what they consider sudden. It just broke all of a sudden.
Mhm.
But wear and tear is just over time, something you could have maintained but did not, and the leak occurred. So even if it wasn't maintained, you'll still get this benefit because it's for wear and tear. And we also do 90 days limited warranty for other devices like your water heater, electrical panel, even your stove. Again, even if they're not recalled, if they just have issues with them, you'll get up to $500 on those smaller appliances. So let's say I deem the water heater good. You close within the next 30 days, you move in, and the water heater goes out within 10 days of you moving in. So you're still within that 90-day time frame.
Mhm.
You can file that claim and receive that $500. And usually new water heater may run between $500 and $800, so you really only out of pocket $300, which is pretty good. Which is, more than a lot of inspectors even offer at any point. So that's what kind of sets me aside. And again, I'm trying to make that complete package so you have all the confidence you need to close.
So thank you so much for that. So I just want to tell everyone, I don't promote anyone that I don't believe in. Brad is the ultimate professional, gives great service, very responsive with communication, and that is unusual for a home inspector or a home inspection company. So I use him for my inspections. My brokerage uses him for our inspections. I believe that anytime I give a referral, I'm putting my reputation in their hands, and I'm proud to put my reputation in the hands of Brad and his company. So if you all ever need any home inspection services or needs, even if it's just to get a quote to see if your inspection company is cutting the mustard, or if there might be room for improvement, reach out to Brad. We'll make sure that his contact info is attached to this video in the comment section. So don't hesitate to reach out to him. He's very easy to schedule with. So Brad, thank you for your time, sir. I absolutely love you. I think you are the cream of the crop. I truly believe that you are the standard that all other home inspectors should be measured by. So thank you for your time, sir. Now, I know I've taken some of your time today. He's already ready. I'm seeing you already ready to get out there.
I'm ready.
All you gotta do is put the hat on and go, right?
You know it.
Brad, thank you so much for your time, brother. You have a good one.
All right, dude, you do the same. Thank you so much. Stay safe.